Yes, what an intro, my boy.
Yo, listen, we're out here. We're upgrading, man. Big up to everybody who's here. Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome back to Best of the Rest show. And we have got a lot to talk about. The games are coming thick and fast. Premier League football is back. You know what I mean? And it's good to be back as well, man. We could talk Premier League. The World Cup was a World Cup. But listen, man, the Premier League is back and it came back with a bang. Loads of goals. I think there was like 20-odd goals in the first, games on yesterday. So unbelievable. Premzy, what are you telling me, Premzy? You good?
What I'm telling you is top of the league, fam. That's what I'm telling you. You get me? I seen you coming in the comments on my watch along trying to chat the crud. You get me? I'm not surprised Lewis ain't here. You get me? Because after last week, what was he chatting? Chatting some maca. But the boys are back in town. Boxing Day banger. And let me tell you something now, bro. I'm just buzzing because Eddie and Ketia stepped up to the plate. And we'll get into it a little bit later on. But first of all, big up to Matty. Welcome to the panel, my brother. You get me, on behalf of all of us. Truly deserved.
Yeah, big up, mate. Big up. It's good to be here, man. It's good to get amongst it. I'm looking forward to this. This is a sign of things to come, mate. Right? No more relegation battles. It'll be all over this top four business in the future. Right? It's good.
Yeah, man. And obviously, big up to Patrick in the building. Got his Christmas hat on. Feeling festive. He's still in the
Yeah, I'm feeling festive, man. Even though the result yesterday wasn't that great, we will get into it and chop it all up. But listen, it's Christmas time, New Year's coming, football's back, and I'm just happy to be amongst all my peoples talking football. We got a Geordie in the house as well. You know what's mad as well? Newcastle were my second team way before they got good, and now everyone's like, whatever.
No, you try begging it, son. You try begging because you got a dead team.
I've always got a soft spot for Newcastle. I do like what they're doing there. I'm not gonna lie, mate. I hated the way when you came to White Hart Lane and you played us. I didn't like,
I bet you didn't enjoy that one.
I didn't. I didn't enjoy the time wasting and this and that. But you know what? You lot are where you deserve to be. You're winning games. You're banging in goals. You're playing good, fluid football, and obviously you're only going to get better as well because you've got players to get back into that team. So it's actually quite scary for the rest of us. No one wants to play you lot, which is a good sign. No one wants to play you lot right now.
Absolutely, man. Big up to also Lewis. He's normally on the show, but obviously Chelsea are playing in a bit, so
yeah.
So obviously,
He had time.
But you know what, man? Let's start off with Newcastle because, like I said, man, we thought we brought you onto the show, Matty. Listen, I thought Newcastle would have a day off. I thought Leicester, they're in form. I thought, you know what, Newcastle, let's see the kind of a downhill spiral now happen. But you know what, man? Was it 3-0, was it?
3-0, mate. It was 3-0 after half an hour. It was 3-0 on like 30 minutes. And we're just, you know what it is? We just thought Boxing Day. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to be the Grinch. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to upset too many people. The Leicester fans were leaving already. Do you know what I mean? Half an hour. And we thought, I know it's Christmas time. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to mug them off too much. So we took the foot off the gas, keeping myself for New Year's Eve, mate. It was a easy Boxing Day out for the boys.
Look, that's Newcastle we're talking about now. Man, you're not realising this.
It's mad.
If you go back to our previews and stuff from a couple of years ago, mate, how grim, how depressed was I? How boring.
Bro, Matty was depressed, man. I was like, yo, man, I hope Newcastle get better because Newcastle Traditional team, Premier League team, Alan Shearer. You know what I mean, Patrick? Like, to now see them where they are, it's a testament to the new ownership, of course. Testament to Eddie Howe, for me, who doesn't get more respect to the game. I think he's a top coach. But also, the players have rejuvenated. I'm seeing Joe Linton now becoming one of the best box-to-box midfielders in the Premier League. You know what I mean? Let's be real. Like, this guy's unplayable right now.
No one's talking about Miggy as well. Miggy Almiron is one of the best wide forwards in the league right now. Like, there's no doubt. Guy scored again yesterday. I'm glad. I put him in my fantasy football team. I was like, you know what? Every time I do that, I'm not going to jinx myself and he's not going to continue to score, but he did. So credit to him. Yeah, look at that. Look at the difference.
Look at the stats.
How insane is that? How insane is that turnaround? Like,
crazy.
Almiron came to us years ago and he was hopeless, but he was lost. He was lost under the likes of Steve Bruce. He was basically a fullback. Under him, he was having to do that much defensive work. He was never given the freedom to be in the opposition box. Eddie Howe's worked on that, obviously worked on his finishing day to day, and he's a completely different beast now. He's a different player.
You can see that there was talent in him, you get me? But I'm just happy for Newcastle, man. They've been suffering for, 14 years under Mike Ashley? You get me? Something like that. And they got an unbelievable fan base, cracking atmosphere, good stadium. it's only right, you get me, that they can now start being involved in the conversation, because
Grealish.
it's a testament as well to the new owners, like Saeed said. Do you know what I'm saying? They haven't come in, they haven't splashed bare money. They've done it quite wisely, brought in an English manager who's, you know, young, who's hungry, he's been sacked before, to be fair, but he's come with an idea, brought the right kind of players in, converted Joe Linton into a midfielder, getting the best out of players like Almiron. You just got to take your hat off to him, man. And I think it's going to be a big knock on the door to all the rest of the big six for not just this season, but all the rest of the seasons to come, man.
They're legitimate top 4, top 6 contenders now. Matty, I'd like to ask you, who's your favourite player?
Bruno Guimaraes.
Okay.
Mate, what he can do on the pitch, the way he controls play, dictates the game, breaks things up, eye for goal. He's the complete midfielder. He's unbelievable to watch, to be honest, mate. But I'm so happy for Almiron to see him, because he's such a nice bloke. He's always got a smile on his face. And for the turnaround that he's had, I'm just so pleased for him. You can just see that he's putting the hard work, and it's prevailing now. So say Almiron or Bruno.
I'm gutted we didn't get Bruno, man. I'm telling you. I'm so gutted.
He was linked with Arsenal for ages, wasn't he? Always linked with Arsenal.
Ages.
That goal, the goal where Bruno Guimaraes flicks it over the top of the head, dinks the ball over to, I think it's Trippier. Trippier lays it onto, mate, it's a football you're playing as well, the brand of football, it's everything. And like I said, a lot of people look at Newcastle, think they would have spent so much money and they would have done that whole Galactical kind of thing. But you bought in Guimaraes, you bought in Isaac, who you still haven't seen yet. You brought in little players. I think for me, nobody's talking about Sven Botman. Mate, this guy, he's unreal, man. He's unreal.
For being only early 20s, his first few months in the league, he's just an absolute unit. He's a powerhouse. He's still yet to lose in a Newcastle shirt. I think it's 17 games he's played now, and he hasn't lost it. Because we've only lost one game all season, and that was Liverpool in the 99th minute, which was an absolute robbery in itself. But Botman is a huge talent at the back, and you've got to think the potential that he's got is endless. It's massive.
Premsy, obviously you guys are top of the league, but these guys are second. Where do you see Newcastle? I think what would be for them a good season, because right now they're in it. If they tailed off like they did a Leicester, it would be a massive disappointment because they've been in and around it. Or do they cherish the moment? Do they say, you know what, wherever we finish now in the top 8, top 6, it's still a good season? How would you think the mentality would be if you were a Newcastle fan right now?
Bro, if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be fucking gutted if we didn't finish in that top 4, because you got to think they've been one of the most consistent teams. They've lost only once in the league this season. And it's not like they've just got a decent first 11. They've got a good squad as well. They've got a good number up front, as somebody mentioned in the chat before. Isaac's not even played yet. You know what I mean? And what did he cost? About 70 million. So they've got a good system at the moment. They're playing all for each other. And personally, I've said it on this show. I've said it on my shows. I think Newcastle will get 4th spot. I think it's time for the league to shake up a little bit. And if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be buzzing where we are right now. You get me? Because you can't wish for the turnaround this fast. Normally, we've seen even with Man City, when they've had money and they have splashed cash and they brought players into the league fast, the switch hasn't been that quick. And I think a lot of it's down to Eddie Howe as well. I think he understands players. I think he knows how to develop players, and also he knows the English game. So he's just hitting the ground running. And if they did fall out and drop into the Europa League, that is no shame as well. But being a Newcastle, look, if I was a Newcastle fan, I'll be looking at it thinking this top 4 should be a pile of piss, man, because there's teams like United, Liverpool, Tottenham, other teams that are dropping points here. Chelsea, I think they're about 10th or something, you know what I'm saying? So there's plenty.
They're gone, man.
There's plenty of opportunity now. But you got to look at it now. If Newcastle do finish and cement that top 4, it's going to be scary next season, because now they're going to be in a place where they can go into a different kind of market, grab different kind of players that will want to be playing in the Champions League. No, they're getting a good salary pack at the end of it. So it looks bright for Newcastle right now, bro.
Premsy's nailed it there. Like, I have to say, Premsy's nailed it. No Newcastle fan in the wildest dreams expected to be top 4 this season, because, like we've been saying, we haven't spent a ludicrous amount of money. We spent the same as what West Ham have done over the years, Nottingham Forest recently, Villa. We haven't spent loads, and we hadn't spent anything for years. We're hoping at a push. I would have been over the moon with Conference League this season. If you could have had me a Thursday night away trip in the middle of nowhere, I would have took it. because it's been that long with football. Mate, I'll take fucking Kazakhstan away on a Thursday night. I don't care. I would do it. You know what I mean? I'm all over it. Cheap beer, cheap flight, whatever. But if now that we're in the top 4, we have to capitalise on it. And I think surely the owners will be looking at that January window. There is never going to be a better time, never going to be a better time to break into this top 4. Because like Premsy said, Chelsea massively struggling, Man United going through a big transitional period. Even Liverpool are starting to pick up again, but they had a poor start. This is the best time. We need to utilise where we are in the minute, because once January comes, the summer comes, they're only going to get bigger and better. The big boys are going to come back. So Newcastle have got a massive opportunity to break into that top 4 this season.
You know, Patrick, I've got a comment here from FaZe that says Newcastle won't finish top 4 consistent because other teams will be better. But listen, Newcastle are better than everyone else right now. This is the thing, though.
Speak for yourself, boy. Speak for yourself. There's only one team better. He's above me there.
Yeah. You know what? It's
they're not tailing off. So I get what you mean, but they haven't shown signs yet. And yes, it's early, but they have got January transfer window to rectify that. You know, because Leicester fell away because they didn't spend in January. Now Newcastle have a chance to spend some money in January, and they do have the money. It's not as if they don't. They do have it. You know what I mean?
And we've been playing, and like we said at the start of the show, we've been playing without our number 9, Callum Wilson. Chris Wood was up top yesterday, man. Chris Wood, Burnley Wood was up top yesterday.
And that goal is going to give him confidence as well. That goal will give him confidence.
Yeah, man. The record signing Isak, he's played 3 games. Alexander Isak looked good in those 3 games, but he hasn't played for over 3 months now. Alan St. Maximin is on the bench, can't even get a game. It's mad.
Wow, crazy that, crazy that. When he's been the kind of almost spearhead of Newcastle for the last 2 or 3 years in terms of what you look for. But Patrick, there, do you see them falter away? Is this the best of rest show? I know we've kind of eulogized Newcastle right now and whatnot, but if you were to say anything, what would be? Would it be the fact that if they're inactive in January and they don't kind of strengthen, or do you think they'll be still consistent?
You know what? I'm torn. You know, I've got two different ways of looking at this. Matty, I've said from the beginning that Newcastle will fall away, just because they've not been in around it, and you got teams like Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham, Chelsea. Even I don't think Chelsea will get top 4, so forget them. But they've been there, done it time and time again. But the more I see Newcastle and the more I see them winning games and winning games comfortably as well, I'm starting to change my mind. So to be fair, my prediction at the beginning of the season, obviously Newcastle weren't in it. I just got to be real. It was Arsenal, City, Tottenham, and Liverpool, and I've still stuck with that because even now Liverpool is still starting to pick up momentum. But also at the same time, the way Newcastle are playing, how can you not put them in there? So to be fair, I'm kind of torn. The only reason why I wouldn't back them right now is because they haven't done it yet. But obviously, the longer it goes on, the more you just have to obviously be honest and talk about their form, how they're playing. And sometimes it's not even about, have they done it before? You just got to be in this moment. They're one of the best teams in the league. So I'm kind of torn. I don't know if I'm being honest, because we have to see how they, go again. Now people respect Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? And this is no disrespect, Matty. Before you kind of you might have had an off day and it's Newcastle, you should beat them. Now teams are going in there and they're a scalp now. So Matty will see now the difference of when the fans come to your ground. You'll see people are going to be up for the game now. Do you know what I mean? And it takes a different kind of mentality to still stay on top when people are gunning for you. So we'll see. When Tottenham, Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United play you guys, you're going to see the players are going to be up for it now with a point to prove. So we'll see. But as it stands right now, how can you write them off? They're second in the league. I mean, they're second. It's mad. And like I said, they're scoring a lot of goals. They're keeping clean sheets as well, which is something we're not really talking about. And they're playing a good brand of football. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
What are you going to do to sustain that, Matty? Are you looking for transfers? Madison, you know what I mean? What are you looking for in January? Who do you need? You need a left back, I think. Maybe.
I think Madison is the number one target. He's been liking pictures from yesterday. Actually, like Bruno's picture from yesterday and stuff. He's planting them seeds. Do you know what I mean? He wants to join. He wants to join the revolution. He's had a love for Leicester. He knows Leicester's hit the ceiling. He knows this is the project. This is the place to be. If we can get someone like a Madison in, because he changes way we can change in games. We can switch up our style of play. We're saying to Madison, he could slot in. We all know he creates goals, scores goals. So Madison would be a bit of a missing piece there, because the only weak link for me, it sounds harsh because he's a grafter, but we've still got the likes of Sean Longstaff in midfield. If you upped someone and imagine putting a James Maddison in there and just having Joe Linton doing a bit more of Sean Longstaff's dirty work. If you had a Maddison as a number 10 floating about, maybe another striker since Wilson's always injured and Isak's still coming back. But apart from that, I don't think you want to upset it too much. You don't want to sign too many players, maybe 2, 3 max. I think 3 or 4 will leave in January. So if we're saying Maddison, that would change a lot. And I think that would be a bit of a statement sign as well, considering he's been linked with all the big clubs for so long and the move's about to happen surely from Leicester.
Absolutely. Now, I think for me, if they do that, Maddison, I think a left back, and then I think maybe another forward just to kind of help out with the goals in terms of maybe, wingers and whatnot. But if they do that, Premzy, you know what I mean? For me, top fours, it can become theirs. It's just, again, like I said, Eddie Howe as well doing an amazing job. You know what I mean? Anything that you would say to them if you, obviously, Arsenal.
Do you know what? Yeah, I tell you now, if Newcastle can go and get Maddison, that'll be an unbelievable signing because I think he'll fit them right down to the ground. And also as well is he'll have that newfound hunger to not only just think, oh, these guys have got money and they're going to be bringing in other players in and around the squad, but he'll be walking into a team that's currently comfortably in the top 4. He's going to, after missing out on England and not getting a game in the World Cup, it'll probably make him even more hungry. He's not that old, so they're getting him at probably his prime of his career. And his only room to elevate players like Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton behind him or whatnot, he's got that license to actually have a bit more of a free role and create and go on to the next level, because there is probably a next level in James Maddison, as we've seen at Leicester. At the moment, he's in a ridiculously bad team with Leicester, and he still managed to pull certain shit out the bag. He still managed to look good when Leicester are looking bad. So I think if Newcastle did get him, that would be a statement signing for them. As Matty just touched on, Arsenal were actually after him. I wanted James Maddison. I thought he would bring some real quality and depth to the squad. But if they can go now, sign maybe a Maddison. Somebody touched on Dan Burn as well. I think he's been an outstanding signing for Newcastle as well. Yeah. And they, like Matty said, you don't want to disrupt things too much. You just want to add in 1-2 players that are going to take you to that next level, not just come in and add squad depth, but players that are going to really push you on. And I think James Maddison would do that for them.
I wanted Maddison in the summer as well. The guy's so good, man. And he's like, it's mad because we all talk about him, but I still feel he's underrated. I still feel he's underrated. Like the fact that he went out with Southgate and he didn't even get 1 minute is so disrespectful. Because the guy's a good player. So if Newcastle get him, oh my God, that's just, they're already a scary team, let's be real. But that just adds another dimension to what they've already got going on.
They get Maddison, they'll just take Tottenham's play straight away.
Here we go.
Big up a win for you with the super chat goes. NFC have good players, but no one is talking about their mentality. They have real warriors and soldiers on their team. Exactly. And again, that comes down to just the relentless pressure from the manager, from what they're trying to achieve. When you have that goal in mind, I think everybody then, becomes a part of it. So now, big up to Newcastle and what they're trying to do. There's over 700 of you in the chat. Please smash a like button on the video. You don't understand how much it helps us. So please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to everyone's channel. Premzy TV, Patrick's channel, Magpie channel as well. Make sure you follow Newcastle. Probably the best Newcastle channel out there. So if you want to check his content out, link is in the description for his content. But listen, let's talk about Arsenal, man. Eddie Nketiah, your man doing the business. I thought you're going to crumble. But you know what? It's one of them, innit? Arsenal, Arteta, they're doing their thing, man. I can't say anything right now. I just have to just keep them out.
Yeah, man, I love it. See the look on his face when he's talking about Arsenal. You see Patrick hear the word and just straight away start giving. This is what we want to see. We want you to carry on being like this all season, because so far, all I've been hearing is, the collapse. After every game, Tottenham test, Liverpool test, this team test. But you know what? These boys are showing real character, real balls, determination, and you can clearly see they understand the play. I'm not going to lie. Coming back from the Christmas break, I was thinking, you know what? Gabriel Jesus, a massive blow to the team. Is that going to have a big impact on the way that we play? Because he's not only just a person that's there to score goals. The way he drops back into the team, integrates with the rest of the team, and sets the tone for the game is you don't really see that very often in strikers. So Eddie Nketiah, for me, I'm not going to lie, on Premier League Unpacked, me and Gooner Lee were at it a bit, you get me? I think I owe him a little bit of an apology, you get me? But for me, it's still, it's good to see him do well, and it's good to see him putting doubters wrong, because I am a doubter of Eddie Nketiah, because I haven't seen so much of him to think, you know what, this guy's gonna be able to be that player to help us challenge for the title. But putting all that said aside, yeah, we definitely need to go in January and recruit in the early parts of the window, because if you looked at our bench yesterday, bro, I'm telling you now, yeah, there wasn't really much there. The only person that could have really come on and tried to be a little bit effective was Fabio Vieira. Other than that, we had no really attacking options there. Emil Smith-Rowe still out. He got a little setback in his recovery.
Again.
So, again, a little setback.
Fucking
So
hell.
He's just injury prone, isn't it? Like,
yeah, he's injury prone now, man.
I
You got
mean,
to put him in that bracket. It's a lot.
he is getting too many injuries. Obviously,
Yeah.
Zinchenko's come back. He came back into the little part of the second half. But I feel like from the first half, there wasn't enough. I think West Ham defended very well. They shut all the lanes very well. We couldn't create anything. I think Martin Odegaard in that first half was that only player that was really trying to break the lines and try to grab the ball by the scruff of the neck. And that's what we want to see from our captain. You get me? From a long time now, captains of this club have shied away. You know, we've had centre-backs as captains, not really midfielders, barring like Cesc Fabregas and stuff like that. But then it's gone to Laurent Koscielny and players of that kind of sort. So it is interesting, because as an Arsenal fan, being suffering for 18 years and seeing us fall off all the time, I'd have that little bit of doubt to think, you know what, will it happen? But the way the boys are turning up, the way the boys are just actually putting in them performances, the way Eddie Nketiah stepped in and integrated with the team well, and not only just be there to be a goal scorer as well. I've seen him play a little bit of a different role yesterday. He's trying to emulate a little bit what Gabriel Jesus does. And I think that's all down to the system and Mikel Arteta. So right now, it's all good in the hood, bro. You get me? I'm just lapping it up right now. Top of the table. I think, what are we, 7 points clear or something like that?
7 points clear.
You know, obviously Man City got to have their game, I think, tomorrow. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens there. But Leeds ain't no pushovers. I think Leeds have quietly gone under the radar and played well. I think Man City lost against Brentford before the break as well. So you can see in this league, anything can happen. We just got to quietly go about our business, let everyone doubt, let everyone hate, and just take it one game at a time, bro. But big up to the Gunners, man. Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely. Hit 44 says 11 starts, 11 goals for Eddie. Call me. Matty, do you reckon Eddie Nketiah gets a little bit too much disrespect? I know a lot of people, it's not the most glamorous strikers of names. You know, people want to see top strikers, but Eddie Nketiah is, let's say that was a good goal as well. Good finish, you know, as well.
Great finish. Yeah, great finish. I think it probably is a part of, is the club too big for Eddie? He's proven not so this season, I think. Taking that number on was a big risk, and fair play to him for having the balls to do it. But maybe it was Eddie Nketiah was at a West Ham or was at Everton. Maybe there'd be more about him. There wouldn't be so much pressure on him because he's at such a big club like Arsenal. If he puts a foot wrong or one strike goes over the bar and he misses one sitter, the pressure heaps on him. But listen, he's looking good. He looked good yesterday. That was a fantastic finish, and he can just keep doing that. Like, he's been good in the other competitions, like in Europe this season. So if he can keep on shining, then big up to him. All the best to him. But I think Arsenal do need to look for a forward in January if they are going to sustain this title charge, because you don't want to rely on Eddie. With Jesus being out as well, they're going to have to strengthen. And Arteta has said they're going to be active, hasn't he? So if they are, I think Arsenal are a bit like Newcastle at the minute. They've got to realise that this is the best chance they'll ever get of winning the Premier League. Just like Newcastle, they've got to realise it's the best chance of ever getting top four. So go for it.
100, bro. That's bang on.
Absolutely. I mean, Patrick, man like Mudryk is begging for Arsenal to come sign him, and that is, you know what I mean?
Are you talking about begging for this man online begging for Gakpo? Yeah, what happened? What happened?
Man, be that good. They'll come for you, man. What's all this like begging?
Don't talk about begging about my team. You get me, fam?
Yeah, you know what?
Mudryk's coming, isn't it? Mudryk's apparently coming, man.
Is he coming? Is that a definite? You know what? You can't believe anything, because allegedly Man United were in advanced talks for Gakpo, and then all of a sudden I see Liverpool. Yeah. So I just, until I see it, I can't believe it. And sorry, that's not even a dig at you, Si. It's just that all these in the knows say all of this stuff, and then all of a sudden we see it's same with Luis Diaz. He was coming to Tottenham, then all of a sudden he's going to Liverpool, and it happens all the time. In the summer, you know, what is it? I can't remember his name. Frankie Frankie de Jong again was meant to be Man United, signed, sealed, and delivered. Didn't end up coming. So until we see him holding the scarf up and holding the shirt, I don't know. So
You put
that sounded like a hate at that.
It's not a hating thing. I mean, it's not. The thing is, everyone bangs on about him, but I'll be real. I don't know much about the guy. I don't watch Ukrainian football. So
Do you know what though? There has been reports, Brandon, about that. Arsenal have actually officially put in a £40 million bid with 20 million.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah.
Okay, because that has been official. What they want, though,
I do agree.
80 million, right?
They ain't getting that, bro. They ain't getting that, bro. But I do agree with you. Until man are holding the shirt up, you're not getting too excited, bro.
Yeah. It's still early as well. The transfer window's not technically opened yet, but it looks like you lot are definitely banging on the door and looking to get some quality in. I'm hearing João Felix links as well, so that one's interesting. João Felix is an interesting one as well because he's still one of those guys. He's a gifted, talented player, but no one knows his best position yet. And kind of when you get to this age right now, you should kind of know where he should fit in. But maybe that's good for Arsenal because the versatility will help if players do get injured or you need to rotate. So, yeah, definitely Levy out. We'll get into that 100%.
Yeah, but I mean, you were linked with a minute. Newcastle were linked with Mudryk as well. I'm sure I see some links.
Yeah, we've been linked with Mudryk as well. So if Arsenal don't want him, we'll swoop in just like we did with Bruno Guimaraes. We will swoosh right in and get Mudryk up top.
I think we've learned our lesson. I think we've learned our lesson with that. You know what I mean? You might go in for Harry Kane. You know what I mean? A Sol Campbell situation.
But these what do you call it? Hijacks are becoming a thing now, isn't it? Like Liverpool just coming out of nowhere, and I mean
out of nowhere. That was out of
nowhere. Like
that's Agent Van Dijk. That Agent Van Dijk.
Yeah, there you go.
Because literally everyone said he was going Man United. It was literally like, he's going Man United. It's done. And then I just see all these reports.
Same agent as Ten Hag. He's come to the training ground.
Yeah.
The kind of mentioning and the quotes are coming out that it's Ten Hag's man.
That's
and then Liverpool just come in like that. And that's what you got to be now. You've got to be proactive. You've got to be able to kind of go in there, say you want this player and go in and
do it.
Yeah, do it.
Sorry to say, Saeed, though, you're shopping in a different market these days, fam.
What do you mean? We're not really shopping. It's just that we haven't got the...
Yeah, you're right. Use, man, a window shopping. That's what you are doing.
We need owners, man. We need new owners, man. You know what I mean? And like I said, the beauty of new owners, you have new ambitions, in it, Matt. You know what I mean? The fact that we're now looking for investment. How's it been for you, like, having new owners? Like, obviously, explain that feeling, because obviously we're going to be obviously having that soon. How's it feeling like when you get new owners?
Mate, I don't know if you've seen the scenes when the takeover happened outside St James's Park. Everyone was celebrating. Thousands of people like would win a trophy because we knew that it was going to be a new era now. I mean, I don't think it would have massively altered the celebrations if it was the Saudis with a lot of money or just anyone who was going to care about the club more, because you couldn't have had more neglect than Mike Ashley. We had zero ambition, zero money spending. He was happy to get knocked out the cups to finish. Focusing on finishing 17th just to survive every year. So to go from that to this is just mental. But as soon as he left, we knew it couldn't get any worse. So we were over the moon. You know what I mean? It's only going to be up from here.
Yeah,
so it was a complete game changer, and it's just changed how everybody feels in the city, about the club, about everything. It's amazing, man.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, man. And like I said, Patrick, you guys as well, you know what I mean, in terms of Tottenham. I mean, that first half was terrible, man, from you lot, man. What was going on in that first half? Like, you, man, were just all over the place. And then again, what you do all the time now, this late thing with Tottenham is that it seems to be like comeback kings in terms of
literally, like, you might as well start watching us from the 46th minute. Just forget the whole first half, go and do your shopping, go and put the kettle on, whatever you want to do, and then turn on 46 minute onwards, and then you'll see a game of football. But now, all jokes aside, it's so frustrating, man, because teams just put it on us now because they know that we're just all over the shop. I know, dare I say it, just coming back after the World Cup break, the squad was a bit disjointed. You had Fraser Forster in goal. Romero, our best defender, wasn't available. Bentancur, who's literally the engine room, he didn't play. So it was a bit, a few second string players in there. But with all that said, you still got enough quality to go to Brentford and, in my opinion, get a win. I know Brentford are a good team. They're very good at home, all of that. But with all that being said, Tottenham, a Champions League team, I don't care. I expect there to go and get 3 points. So when I see 1-0 down, I'm like, okay, cool. We can get back in it. 2-0 down. That Bozo Dyer, like I said in my tweet, I defended him Frenzy's busting up, but I was like, I've defended this
I
guy
seen
long
you,
enough
bro.
now.
Killed him off, mate. One time,
I
killed him
can't
off.
defend that. How under no pressure, he shanked the ball. No one was around him. He could have even just controlled the ball, laid it off to whoever, and we go again. The guy shanked it under no pressure whatsoever. It doesn't go out for a throw-in. It goes out for a corner. And then Sod's Law, they score from that corner. We're 2-0 down. And then we've got a mountain to climb. And, you know, thank God we got back into the game. We showed some fight and spirit and resilience. But it's the same old story, man. Why do we have to go 1 goal or 2 goals down to really see us play? And, you know, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I'll take a point all day long from that context of the game. But if I take, you know, rewind it back to the beginning, 0-0, the ball's just about to kick off. You want all 3 points. And if you want to be serious in this league and even finish in the top 4, you got to get 3 points away at Brentford. Do you know what I mean? So disappointing. I'm glad that Harry Kane got a goal, though. That shuts all the doubters up, because obviously the longer it would have went on without him scoring or doing something, it would have been, can he bounce back? You know, are the clouds hanging over him? Will he come back after that penalty miss? So I'm glad he got a goal. And because we was 2-1 down at that point, no one's really talking about it, but it was a brilliant header. It was a great header. The keeper had no chance. And then Højbjerg as well, stepping in. He's really stepped up this season with his goals and assist contribution. That was a nice finish. So 2-2, you'll take that all day long, considering we were 2-0 down. But it's really annoying when you're seeing everyone else pick up points. Newcastle picked up 3 points. Liverpool picked up 3 points. Arsenal picked up 3 points. You guys obviously will find out today, but more than likely you'll win your game. City will definitely win against Leeds tomorrow. So it's annoying, but, you know, at least we got something out of the game. But Conte has a lot to... I don't know, man. I don't know. I see reports saying that Conte said that the defense isn't the problem and we need to strengthen in other areas. How can the defense not be the problem? You're seeing centre back after centre back after centre back come in and make stupid mistakes. Tanganga as well. He's not young anymore. No one's really talking about it. Exactly, but the guy's not good enough at this level. Every time he plays, he's making mistakes. He was passing behind the man a lot of the time. He doesn't look composed on the ball. He was getting too touch tight to flipping the striker Ivan Toney, and Toney kept bullying him and losing him. He couldn't handle Toney's movement, and he's just not good enough, man. It's as simple as that. He's not good enough. He's a mid to lower tier Premier League defender, and to be fair, maybe even the Championship would be his best bet. Play a season there, and then we'll see what's what. But he's 23, 24 now. Sorry, he's not good enough. Dyer definitely isn't good enough. And I've given him chance after chance after chance after chance. And the guy just makes stupid mistakes. Against Liverpool, we were 1-0 down coming back into that game. The guy literally backheaded it for no reason, left Lloris in no man's land. Salah scores as 2-0, game over. Yesterday, there was no need for that. And it's just mistake after mistake after mistake. And the fact that he got into the England squad, I don't know, does that show the level of the defenders in England, or does that show how dumb Gareth Southgate is? I think it's the latter.
maybe
Southgate. It's Southgate, because there's definitely better defenders than Dyer, considering how shit he's
been. For me, it's better.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a slap in the face. And this is what sometimes, you know, the top 6, the top 4 teams, we get this like leeway where players can underperform and still get the nod over players that are consistently performing at a higher level, but just because of the badge on the shirt, they don't get into the team. And it frustrates me, because stuff like that masks over how shit Dyer's been. If he didn't make that England squad, maybe it would have given him the kick up the arse to actually step up. But the guy still thinks that he's a top talent or top tier defender, and he really isn't. The guy's a failed fucking DM. Well, if we're being real, when he come to Tottenham, he was a right back. In his first ever game, he started against West Ham. He was a right back. He got the winner. Didn't really cut it there. So Poch had a great, idea, moved into DM. He was decent there for a couple of years. Couldn't run around and move the ball around. Didn't have the legs. So he converted into centre back, and now he's still struggling. The guy's just not good enough, man. He
should have left him right back at home, mate. That's what he should have done.
Tanganga needs to fuck off, and I hate to say it because I like Tanganga, and obviously he's a local lad. He's from Enfield, all of that. But so if you're not good enough, no more fucking sentiment. Get the fuck out. And obviously Davinson Sanchez is a fucking bumbling buffoon. It's like Bambi on ice. He's not good enough. We just need, other than Romero, like I said, we need a whole new back line. I like Langley. I think Langley's come in and done quite decently. No one's talking about him, but I think he's a good composed defender. He progresses the ball well, can pick a pass. It was his cross that got Harry Kane.
Yeah, he got the goal. Yeah.
So he's a good player. But other than that, man, it's not good enough. And when I see Conte coming out and saying stuff like that, I'm like, are you just saying that to manage expectations, or do you really believe that, or are you just fucking clueless? Because it doesn't make no sense. When I see the same line like Emerson Royale starting week in and week out, it's mad. And it may sound a bit crazy because we're fourth in the league, and you know, in the grand scheme of things, we're doing okay, but it's just too many mistakes after mistakes after mistakes where we're clawing at games and struggling. Like Leeds 3-2, great to watch if you're neutral, but for a Tottenham fan, it's just mad seeing this shit. Over and over. Again, yesterday, second half was great for neutrals, but it's not good for me. It's not good for me to fucking see that shit. Do you know what I mean? Aston Villa at home on New Year's Day. I dread to think we're going to make fucking Ollie Watkins look like,
and he's not the greatest.
Exactly. We're going to make Ollie Watkins look like fucking, I don't even know, whoever. Drogba in his prime.
It's going to be a tough game, that, man. I'm telling you now, Liverpool kind of got lucky against
Liverpool got lucky because they wasted chance after chance after chance.
Man.
So, yeah, man. If we,
I think...
Go on, sorry. Go on.
No, I think it comes down to the fact that as well, you know, the ownership as well. Are they willing to back Conte? I mean, Matty, I'm going to come to you next. What's missing from this Tottenham team for you? Like, because like I said, Conte is a good manager. He's out of contract in the summer. I think he's out of contract in the summer, right?
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
Yep. So if they don't back him in January, he might just think, you know what? I might just walk.
It could be a mad month, you know. It could be a mad month for Tottenham, because I could definitely see that happening. You could see Conte just being like, nah, what's the point of this? I'm not going to get anywhere here. For me, Tottenham, what's missing? They need to hit the refresh button. They need to hit the refresh button. You've seen Patrick talking about it there, the likes of Eric Dyer and stuff. They need to get these players out and get fresh legs in. They need 4 or 5 signings across. I look at Tottenham's team, and apart from the front 3, doesn't impress me one bit. Apart from Son, Kulusevski, and Kane, I wouldn't take anyone else in Newcastle.
I think Bentancur would probably get into most teams, and Romero. But other than that, I agree with what you're saying.
I think you know there's big areas of that team that need big work and big spending. And look at your chairman; he's probably not going to do it, is he? So maybe you need a new owner as well. New players.
Not maybe. Sorry, Matty, but not maybe we do. And a lot of fans are kind of like, they're in the middle because we've had a decent end to the last season. We got Conte in and we got a new stadium. But at the end of the day, we're not spending. We're not doing the right things in the market. We're seeing Conte come out now and say stuff like this before the window opens, which means that Levy's already told him you're not really going to get invested and backed. And it's just the same old shit year after year. And the fact that Newcastle are coming in now and doing well and doing bits, Liverpool will always, no matter what, they will always go out and grab a top player or two. United, if you lot get new owners, Arsenal are moving in the right direction. Chelsea, even though they're a bit of a shambles at the moment, they will still always go out and get players, and Cuckoo's coming in and they will look to strengthen. And Levy and Enoch they're just clowns. The fact that, you know, before they came in, we was actually a team that used to win trophies. The fact that they've got 1 trophy in like 14, 15 years, that says it all, man. And we've been close so many times. It's not like we're a team that was struggling. We've been so close and should have been backed up team times, and we haven't. And like you said, Matty, we need to hit the refresh button. It should have been done a long time ago. And it's a shame because, you know, I agree with the front 3 stuff, but there are some good players in that team. But because the crux of the team is so shit, they all get kind of thrown in the same bracket. But Romero is definitely a top defender. Bentancur has showed how good he is. Obviously, Kulusevski has shown how good he is coming in. But the rest of them, yeah, you're right. They could get scrapped and binned and we start again. I agree.
No, I think, like I said, it's good for you seeing all this. You know what I mean, Prenti? You must be laughing, right?
Loving it.
You know what I mean? They're always one step away from crumbling, isn't it? And it just feels like they're always. You know what?
They shoot themselves in the foot all the time, though, Saeed. That's what it is. You get me? Look, they were in the Carabao Cup final, and they sacked a guy who's a serial winner and knows how to grind out results. Yeah, they sacked him just before that final. It makes no sense. You get me?
It was because Levy didn't want to pay him out, because if Jose would have won, he had a little bonus.
There we go. There's your answer there. That bald guy that I told you last week about him, didn't I? Didn't I tell you? I don't want to say it again, but you know what I said last week. I tell you, he's a funny geezer. And the thing is with Tottenham, as well, is they've got a mental block. Because they've not won a trophy for such a long time, they have a mental block. And we've seen it at Arsenal. We didn't win a trophy, I think, like 8-9 years before we picked up the FA Cup, the first one. And we would come close a lot of the times, but we just couldn't get over the barrier. I think with them, they're going to have to give Conte what he actually wants because he's a proven manager who knows how to win stuff, but he has to be backed. And that's always been Conte's situation. He's never been a player to bring up somebody from the youth and develop him to a world-class star. He's always been a manager that will go out there, buy the players that fit his system, and go on and start winning titles and shit. So with the way Levy is going on at the moment is all a badness, you know what I'm saying? Putting all the joking aside, if I was a Tottenham fan, which I'm so glad I ain't, I'm so glad my dad was from the right part of London, you get me? All I know, is that I'd be fuming with what's going on because it is not acceptable going down the way Tottenham go down every single game. Pretty much, I think they've recovered the most points from losing positions. You get me? It's like they send out one team in the first half and then send out another team in the second half. And I'm not going to lie, it pisses me off. You get me? I'm seeing man 2-0 up and that, And then I know. Next thing you know, he's man are clawing it back, and I'm getting vexed. Do you know what I'm saying? But for a Spurs fan, that mustn't be good. You get me? These man must be taking blood pressure pills to every single game. And are we seeing Tottenham fans holding on to players too long, like maybe a Son? I think Son's a quality player, but are we starting to see
looks lost?
Are we starting to see a decline in him? Are we starting to not maybe?
It's a tough
Tottenham
one.
players, are Tottenham fans not looking at it like we need a replacement for him?
No,
you get me? But it seems like they're pretty much happy with what's going on.
No, Tottenham fans aren't happy with Son, to be fair. And he's been getting a lot of criticism. The thing is, yesterday I thought he looked good. That's the best I've seen him in a long time. He was actually taking his man on. He was beating his man stepovers, creating goal scoring opportunities for himself and others. But that's the best I've seen Son in a long time. And he wasn't great, but he was just better than what he's usually been.
That wasn't Son. That wasn't Son. No, that mascot. He thought he was Batman or something. You know what I mean? He come on a new, different character.
That's the thing as well. Like, I don't want to be too harsh on him because my guy was playing with a fractured eye socket. Still is. He rushed himself back to be ready for the World Cup, and even now he's still kind of injured. So don't want to be too harsh. That question about what happened to Basuma, really disappointed with him yesterday because I've actually seen him play well in the Spurs shirt, but yesterday he was fucking atrocious. The guy couldn't make a 2-yard pass. He was just out. It just looked out of rhythm and out of sorts. He was just, it wasn't good. You know, so
you need to move on from Lloris as well, man. Trust me.
Lloris has been okay, but again, he needs to be upgraded now. He's old and you know, dare I say it? Well, to be fair, he's still a good goalkeeper, but it's time to refresh that. Lloris needs to be upgraded. We need some centre backs. See people in the chat saying that Tottenham aren't a big club and they're not going to make top 4. We will definitely make top 4, and we're still a big club. The thing is, like I say, I can moan about all of this, but we're still better than most of the teams in the Premier League. So we will get into the top 4. Do you know what I mean? We're not challenging for the league. I said that from the beginning, but we're definitely better than most of the clubs around. Better than Chelsea. Better than United. Newcastle, I'm not too sure about. So but we'll make top 4, man. You can bookmark this, clip it, whatever you want to do. We're getting in the top 4.
You know, Matty, when you look at anyone else apart from Man City and obviously Arsenal, do you fear anyone else? When you look at the best of the rest, what do you see holes in teams? Do you think, you know what, we can take these on here? We can have this.
I don't really, you know. I mean, Liverpool, you do slightly just because of Klopp and how well they can be, but the way they've let players go now, and obviously having to bring in new players and defensively, I think they can be got at. We've seen that yesterday. Aston Villa should have probably went 2 or 3-0 up for me. I think Liverpool can be got at. And so you look around that league, and apart from Man City, who we should have beat at home, we drew 3-3 with them. They came back. I'm not fearing anyone. I'm not fearing anyone at all because we're going into every game, just high intensity, pressure, giving it everything we've got. And we're playing out of our skin. And like I said earlier, I think it helps that a lot of the big clubs in and around us are going through transitional periods and whatnot. So at the minute, not really, not really, Saeed.
You know what? And like I said, with United at the minute, obviously we have to play tonight. So obviously we'll see the result. But we missed out on a player in Gakpo who the manager wanted. It was clear that he wanted. And now the striker market, I can't lie to you, man. It does affect the top 4 race for us because we're light up front as a striker. You know what I mean? I know Harry Kane and Richarlison, you've got Arsenal, obviously you're going for different things. I think Newcastle, with the system that they've got and the drive that they've got, they seem to be managing and coping with Chris Wood. You know what I mean? So it's kind of difficult. But in my side, and I'll start with you, Premsy, but what strikers are out there? What should United do now? Should we go for a Felix? That's a superstar kind of type? Or should we go and, I don't know, go and bargain basement and just try to find little bargains?
There's 2 kind of ways you can go. Either you can go for an out-and-out striker, either like a Mitrovic. I know I keep branding his name around. I think he's a top quality striker. I think Ivan Toney could have been that guy, but obviously with the betting scandal, and don't know whether he's going to get a serious ban or whatnot. A club's really going to risk it. So either you could go for a Mitrovic because, like you said, Martial, bro, he's injury prone. You get me? So you know you're not going to get a consistent run of games out of him. But then you can also go in for a different kind of option, like with this Gakpo kid. If you would have went and got him, he would give you the option to play on the left, play on the right, play up front, play in the 10. So if you did want to rest some players around there, and with Ten Hag as well, from what I've seen, I feel like he's a bit more of the latter kind of manager where he wants to get a player that can maybe suit a few different systems, a few different roles, and not really have somebody who's stagnated in one kind of position. So for United, I think man should go for somebody who's maybe a Felix, somebody like that. Obviously, there's a loan option available there that Atletico have more or less stated Arsenal are after him. If somebody like Felix came into United, he could play many different roles for you and add to your front line, because say if a Rashford got injured or Anthony got injured or a Martial, who's going to be coming in and stepping in? So for you guys, I think it's going to be very important for you to go in the January window and make some signings, because as we know with Rashford, he looked good in the World Cup. He looked good. I think it was was it a friendly that he played for you? And he looked good in that. But he's very inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? So if you definitely want a challenge for that top four, you need to make signings. Your team's not good enough. And that's just not me having banter or anything. That's just looking on the outside. I don't feel like United's good enough throughout, to be honest.
Can I just say something quickly? To be fair, this is where the directors of football and the scouts come in and earn their bacon, because we're saying names that we know, but there's so many players out there where these guys are meant to watch football and go and see. And it might not be a named player, but these guys, Arsenal went and
Harry Kane, mate.
Yeah.
Now I'm telling you, he's a United type player. Harry Kane is a United type player. If he's got him, he'll elevate you.
Now, like right now, it doesn't make sense. If it was United a few years ago, you could have made it. You could have believed it. But right now, it doesn't make no sense. And I see someone in the comments saying Kane is finished. The guy's got 13 goals in 16 games, and he scored all types of goals. How could he be finished? Sometimes people need to actually just think about what they say before they type it or say it, because some of you lot are moving a bit mad, saying Tottenham aren't a big club and Kane is finished.
What about Osimhen? Really? Would you go in for Osimhen?
It's very difficult. We've left ourselves in a bit of a tricky situation where we've left it to January. When we knew Ronaldo was probably leaving last summer, we could have easily got a striker in when Ronaldo was probably going to leave, maybe either in the January or the summer after. So we needed someone in there anyway. And the board didn't do that, and they prioritized other positions. But I mean, Matty, I'm going to come up to you. Who else would you be looking at striker wise? Like, if you just in terms of your knowledge of football, like who would you think would be an option?
I think, to be fair, Primsy said them both in terms of right at the end there with Harry Kane. But for me, Ivan Toney would have been perfect if he didn't obviously have this FA betting thing going on. That he would have been ideal. He would have offered a robust option for Man United up top, but he is a very good technical all-round striker. He would have been perfect, slotted in Premier League, hit the ground running. But Harry Kane makes so much sense to me. I know Patrick's saying not anymore, doesn't, but I think it does. I mean, I think he's not going to want to. What's it? I mean, surely he can't want to be at Spurs anymore. They're not going to win anything. If we're talking about Conte potentially leaving in January, Levy not strengthening, nothing's going to happen for Spurs. They'll be lucky to get top four. So why would Kane not want to leave? If Man United came in, and you know what Daniel Levy's about, main problem is he's a businessman first and a football owner second. So if they offered him big money and he had the chance to play in a Man United shirt, how doesn't that make sense? I think it makes perfect sense.
Patrick, over to you, man. You know what I mean?
Patrick tried to play it then, you know what I'm saying? He tried to brush all of them rumours away.
Going to Man United is the same project as going to Tottenham, but also without the familiarity of the players around him. Doesn't know if he's going to, transfers aren't guaranteed success stories. So he could go to United and actually get worse. He could go to United and not fit in a year or so down the line.
If you believe he's world class, if you believe he's the player he is, and then surely he fits into any team.
100%. But world-class players sometimes don't make. Look at Di Maria when he came to you guys. The guy was 100% a world-class talent.
Di Maria didn't work out.
So
I'm not having that one.
Yeah, but Di Maria didn't have the Premier League experience like Harry.
Exactly.
The point is, I'm saying it from an Arsenal man. This guy is quality.
Always work. But I can't see Harry Kane going to United. I'm sorry, I can't see it. People say, People disrespect Spurs too much. Tottenham are a big club.
No, I agree.
They're considered a top 4.
I
top
can
6
see Harry
club.
Kane in a red shirt. I don't know which one, but I can see it in one.
It's not happening. It's not happening. And again, people in the comments saying Kane is dusted. Are you crazy? Kane will probably finish as the Premier League's all-time top goal scorer. The guy's got 13 goals in 16 games, and you're telling me he's dusted. Are you lot fucking stupid? Like, how is the guy dusted? He's scoring all types of goals, headers, goals with his left foot, goals with his right foot, inside the box, outside the box. His movement is fantastic. His passing range is phenomenal. The guy always scores goals, and he's dusted.
And most important of all, he let his country down.
That was
get it all the time now, man.
It happens. But
No,
yeah,
to
say he's dusted is mental. That is mad. That is mad.
Before we wrap up the show, I want to bring in Aya Gumadi. He says, genuine question: how is a team considered a big club without any trophies?
Good point, but football didn't start 10 years ago. Football didn't start in the Premier League era. Football's been going on for a long time. Tottenham's still one of the most winningest clubs. Typically, we always finish in the top 4, if not the top 6. We obviously have, in terms of revenue, in terms of TV money, in terms of the fact that we're always playing in Europe, in terms of a lot of stuff, man, Tottenham are up there with all the rest of the clubs that are considered big clubs. So, I think, if people take away the banter and actually just be serious, Tottenham are considered a big club. Not just by me, by people all around the world and in England and in Europe.
Absolutely. Listen, people, we're going to wrap it up here. Big up to everybody who's locked in. Still over 700 of you in the chat. So we're going to give you a like target of at least 350 likes. So people, if you're watching right now, you haven't hit the like button, go down the bottom of your screen, hit that like button. And you know what? I want to thank Matty for coming in short notice. I messaged him yesterday and I said to him, you know what? You want to be part of the show? And like I said, in the future, you're more than welcome to be on the panel. But big up to Matty. Let them know where they can find you, man.
Big up, bro. Thanks for the invite, man. Pleasure. Anytime, mate. You'll get used to me seeing my face, hopefully, over the next 2 years.
We hope
the Magpie channel. The Magpie channel TV, mate, on YouTube.
Absolutely. Make sure you check him out. Patrick, let them know, man, where they can find you as well.
Yeah, Patrick Tyrant on Twitter and Instagram. So at Patrick and then Tyrant, Tyrant. My YouTube channel's in the link. So by all means, click that. Give me a follow and a like and all of that. And yeah, man, you'll see me on the Football Terrace. I'm on Femzi's Premier League Unpacked. I'm obviously here every week as well. So you lot will see me. I'm about.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, Premzy, you get me, Premier League Unpacked, 8 p.m. Make sure you tune in, people. But
7, we're going to do 7 so we can watch you, man, get smoked at 8.
Oh, yeah. Well, that won't happen. I'll say that, right.
Get me, Jesse Lingard's going to be coming to dance at Old Trafford.
It ain't happening. Jesse Lingard is going to be doing what Fabianski did yesterday and letting the ball go back in the net, mate. I've seen Fabianski. That was awful. Fabianski disgrace.
That was Martinelli. Give him the eyes. He gave him the eyes. Yeah, that's what happened now. But Premier League Unpacked at 7 o'clock, people. Make sure that you come over and support the thing. Obviously, you'll find me on Instagram, Premzy_AFC, on this show and also AFTV as well, people. But I just want to say big respect to everyone in the chat, man. It keeps it going. Good people in there. And make sure you smash a like on this video because without the likes, it's not going to grow. And to be fair, look at the personalities on here. Look at the banter. Look at the knowledge. We want this show to go to the highest possible points, man. And big up to yourself, Matty, as well, for a solid debut on the channel.
Yeah,
and Saeed,
sick.
Well done with that intro, bro. He looks cold, I'm not going to lie.
There we go. Well, we're going to end with the intro. So listen, big up to everybody who's locked in. I'll be tonight at the game, so I'm literally going to go to the game right now. So match reaction after the game, and then I'll see hopefully 3 points. If not, then big L, and I'll see you next week.